Tour junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the FedEx St. Jude Championship 2024 betting and DFS preview. Only 70 guys in the field. That means one show this week for us. I'm your host
and
DFS
DB.
preview. Only 70 guys in the field. That means one show.
What's going on there?
Pat, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Are you up to something?
No, I feel
like there's some tomfoolery going on with you right now.
No, I wanted to wear the long shot season jacket. I mean,
why?
I almost hit a long shot last week. It was close.
What happened?
Almost. I mean, a lot could have happened. I mean, obviously he choked. We're talking about Max Grayserman. But actually, if you want my recap, I came into some information that there may have been somebody trying to mush my bet.
Oh, dear.
And here it is. Tony, we had a Grayserman chat. If he wins, a quick clip less than 1 minute highlighting the big hit would be good. Pat had him on the card, too. This was like at 3 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, they hadn't even started the fourth round yet.
No, they had started the fourth round by 3, right?
Maybe
not. Well,
no,
Grace,
this is just a pure mush job, and it further highlights. Tony, what do you have to say, real quick, Tony?
I was gonna say that's 3 my time central, so that's 4 o'clock. So they were on the golf course.
Yeah.
Well, they were. Okay. Yeah. Well,
I did admit it to Tony.
Yeah, but it's just. Oh wait, here.
Don't tell us. So clearly, Tony.
Yeah,
Tony is a snitch. Is what's happening here.
No, you know what Tony's doing?
No, Tony. Yeah, Tony's snitching. Snitches get stitches.
There you go.
I thought you were about to say something else. I was like, I don't think they get that.
No, snitches get stitches, Tony. You better watch out. I'll send somebody your way. I'll find a. We got a lot of cracked out, weird nut hut members that probably live in your area. I'll send them your way. Thanks for snitching, Tony. I was gonna snitch on myself. Let me snitch on myself.
DB, you went aggressive. I went the opposite way. I went no way. All 3 of our minds were in sync here. Like we all were just so in tune with. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna bring this out to the light. What is done in the dark is gonna be brought out to the light.
Why did it have to be like that?
I knew Pat would.
I knew Pat would say. I thought he was going to tell me that yesterday because I was texting him at the same time I was texting you.
Yeah,
and I was like, Grayserman looks locked in. He looks dialed, and he did. He did until he made an 8. He looked so dialed.
I mean, the shot before the 8 was amazing. I mean, it was like a wedge, but still, he holds a wedge.
So I'm texting Pat, and at a certain point, I thought Pat was going to be like, "Hey, you're starting to cross the line of like possible mush here," and I was doing yard work, and so I wasn't watching, and so I was just like, you know what, I probably just need to stop. And then it happened. I'm sorry, Pat. I am sorry. I wanted you to hit Grayserman. I really did.
Well,
we also talked up Aaron Rye. Everybody loved Aaron Rye. We were only 2 ding-dongs that put him on the damn card. Good to see Aaron Rye play well and finally get across the finish line, though. The guy has been really, really good. CBS was acting like he was the great. CBS was acting like he was damn Indian Tiger Woods.
You need to wait a second.
Tiger Woods, whatever.
You need to wait a second, all right?
British
I'm
Indian.
not. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Because I'm not done, all right? With all the things that happened in this mush that came to light, I'm tired of some things, and it's time for things to change.
Oh, I knew there was a reason you're wearing this jacket. What the hell is that? What is that, dude? Is that John Rahm on there? What is that?
That's Gigapat.
Gigapat?
Yeah.
What, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Google it.
Who made this for you, Marcus? Did Marcus make this for you? Alpha Pat. That literally looks nothing like you. That looks nothing like you. You didn't even try to make it look like you.
Maybe search Giga Chad and you'll find out who that is, but it's really me. It's time for things to change around here.
Okay, why don't you run the show then? Why don't you do our first ad read?
It's Apple Pat. Apple Pat.
Oh gosh. I am sorry.
Well, at least
I will say, I don't know. Like, when does the mush come into play? Because, like, when the dude is just absolutely cruising, and then you have a 4-shot lead, and you make an 8. I don't know that. Like, that's not me. That's not on me. I feel like that's not a mush. That is, I don't know what that is. That is autism. It could be a lot of things. It could be. It was wild. It was a wild ride for Max Gracerman, and Rye just stayed steady. Also, Rye had a corner man. Rye had Mickey. Like wiping down, lobbing him up with Vaseline after every tee shot. Billy Ho over there slobbing his knob after every time he made contact with the ball. Billy Ho's patting him on the ass and telling him how special he is and how much everybody loves him. I mean, CBS cameras were picking it up. I will say it was very nice. Billy looked like a true true sportsmanship person. If we gave superlatives at the end of the year, Billy wins the citizenship award. He wins.
He does.
For that performance on Sunday. It was fantastic. It was great to see. But, Gracerman didn't have that in his quarter. Gracerman had Matt Kuchar.
Yeah, I think Kuchar was trying to mush him.
Kuchar, literally, I don't know. I think you could argue, Rye was about to pull it back, and Kuchar's ball was landing in the woods to his left. Like, if Kuchar hits his normal little 159-mile-an-hour ball speed, queefy cut, starting left side, cutting to the center, he hits Aaron Rye's nose, which is a huge ass nose. I don't think we talk enough about how big Aaron Rye's nose is. He hits Aaron Rye in the nose, P5, and the whole game changes, and Gracerman wins going away.
Yeah, look, I don't know what to say. This whole opening of the show, I'm flustered with what I figured out, but we've been talking about Rye for a while. Yes, it was a true community win. We didn't have him on our cards, but I think we kind of outthought ourselves there because we were like, everybody's going to have him on the card. Everybody's going to play him in DFS. And, but he's been playing super well. But yeah, Cooch just, to me, furthered his legendary douchebag status. The rest
Is he a Giga Chad?
No, he's not.
Tony,
No.
I think producer Tony's been doing, he's got it. I can't read that. What does that say? A satirical meme that originated online. Okay.
Yeah, that's also the AI explanation from Google, which isn't known to be correct. But look at these pictures. I don't know if this is a real person or Photoshop or like AI.
If you read about it, it's modeled after some Russian bodybuilder.
It's real small. Is there a wiener on the screen right now? What are we looking at?
It is AI. It is AI. But it's modeled after a.
Are we going to get demonetized for this? Is that pornography? What are we looking at? What the hell is going on? Who made you this shirt?
Well,
there it is.
Okay, is that the picture on your shirt, or is it?
Yeah. It's kind of it's AI.
Is it your face?
It's got my face on. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it's in there somehow.
This is the most confusing beginning.
It's crazy.
We've been doing this 9 years. I've never been more confused at the beginning of it.
So Marcus helped me with this shirt. He came up with it. Well,
of course
him and a few others, but it's funny because this is Printify in Marcus's home because this shirt smells like burnt microwave popcorn.
Have you been in Marcus? Why was Marcus's home smell like burnt? By the way, if we did see
that happening with Marcus.
We did a draft of worst smells ever, that might be my 1-1. I cannot take burnt popcorn.
No, it's
awful. But why do you think Marcus's house smells like that?
I don't know. I think Marcus would like popcorn, and maybe he burnt it when he was making this shirt. I don't know.
We are recording a little later in the evening tonight, so I am drinking some tequila. So this could turn into a heck of a show. I mean, as it already is. Do you have any podcast use tonight? What do you got?
I got a little vodka in here, vodka lemonade actually.
Is it vodka in that sparkling ice drink you have?
No, it's just regular old lemonade.
Okay.
It's refreshing.
Yeah. I'm sorry, not sorry about the mush. I mean, I don't feel like I can take responsibility for an 8. And then he followed that up with a birdie and then another double. Like, I think he just, I don't know. But, you texted me last night that you're out on Gracerman ever again. Like, and I think that's the thing. So the guy finishes runner-up at the
saw his
3M.
eyes. He had weak eyes, DB. Weak eyes. You know what weak eyes are.
Whoa. No, he does not.
He did.
He doesn't have weak eyes. He doesn't have weak eyes. He also faced the music with Amanda Balionis afterwards, which I respect. Hell of a job by that kid. He's 29. He's more mature than a lot of guys. This isn't some 23-year-old whose frontal lobe hasn't developed yet. He's learning, right? It's his rookie year. He's learning. The guy finished runner-up at the 3M, had the clubhouse lead at the 3M, waiting on things to go down. And he's in there playing ping pong. He's calm, cool, collected, playing ping pong. Had a great round 4 at the 3M. In fact, that's what I talked about that in that clip that I wanted Tony to make in the event he won. He played great in round 4, like given that the circumstances, like knowing what was happening. So you kind of felt like he would just keep it together, and he did for a lot of holes until it went off the rails. I think the 8 rattled him. And I mean, sometimes like that one shot can just do it for you. And I think it really, really, really rattled him. But I'm on the side that he can win. And he learned a lot from the last 2 weeks. And he can win at some point. You are already writing you're one and done, writing him off, you're done.
I had him on my card. That was the only chance he got to be on the card, and he blew it.
All right.
He blew his chance.
Okay. If you lost units because you didn't have Aaron Rye on your squad, I do apologize if you're tailing us. But I will say, if you tail our friends at SoBet, look at the leaderboard this week, Pat. 5.4K, 5,400 bets officially logged and placed the last 30 days on SoBet. This is on the app. And look at the top 5 leaders here. Shout out to our boy Bet with Poppy. TP3 Bets. We've had him in the Discord before. Bet with Poppy up 52 units in the last 30 days. Green Mean Goes Sports up 25 units. This is what you get when you're on SoBet. You need to check them out. Click the link in the description. It will pre-fill code TJ for you, and you'll get your first month for just $1, and every month after for 33 cents a day, $9.95 a month. Brand new updates coming to the app very soon. The app's already really nice. The web browser experience is nice too. But the new app is going to be hot and fresh out the kitchen for college football and NFL season. So you need to get in there with SoBet. We talk about it all the time. 60, 70 plus vetted handicappers for every sport imaginable. They're on SoBet putting in plays. And I wanted to show this too. This is an example of the transparency, people. Now, this is a losing bet from our friend Ocho Bingo. This is a losing bet. He had the Mets money line yesterday, plus 110, 2-unit bet. You have his description of why he liked it. And then above it, you can see his recap. What happened? He lost 2 units. But this is the transparency you get on SoBet. You get recaps, you get transparency, you get reasons for plays. Love the platform. Give it a shot. I'm telling you, football season is when you need to be in on this for sure. We do some golf stuff over there. I made about a half a unit for the people this week in terms of my placement bets over there. I got boned by a couple guys, Siwoo Kim being one of them. But still profitable over there on SoBet this week in the golf side. Hop in, click the link in the description, and join our friends at SoBet. Pat, it's a big week, too, for a couple of reasons. Number one, we've got 2 more weeks of the season-long bet. Number 2, our Discord listener league comes to an end. Is it this week or next week? Do you know?
I think it comes to an end next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's getting pretty.
I haven't even looked at the standings.
We need to look at the standing. We need to have an update on that. We need to know who's doing what. But our season-long update, I thought I was going to have you. I faded Minwoo Lee last week. He easily missed the cut. Easily. It was too easy. And then you had Jordan Spieth, who was kind of hanging around. Of course, he bogeys 2 of the last 3 holes in round 2 to miss the cut. I think on the freaking number. Maybe it was by 2. I don't know. God, it pissed me off. I was hoping you were going to get a little cash there. So we have this week and next week, and that will determine who pays the price, the ultimate price for the season-long bet. I have, it looks like, roughly a $700,000 lead on you as of now. These are going to be big weeks. The purses are big. Yeah. The field is stacked. So fading a guy at 30-1 or shorter, you're going to be fading a really good player. You're going to be fading a guy who has potential to win at this golf course. Anything could happen. I do not feel safe with a $700,000 lead. I can tell you that right now. We saw all season long, you led me until the U.S. Open when you picked Bryson and he won. All it takes is something like that, a top 3 finish, something like that, and this whole thing changes. And the loser after next week is going to be attending a horrible, awful, embarrassing, whatever concert alone by themselves and document such travels and such misery. That is the punishment that we spun at the beginning of the year. We still need submissions for the concert. So whatever you think that should be for whoever loses, put that in the YouTube comments. Like, subscribe while you're here if you're in the YouTube channel. If you're on X, watching us on X, comment, what concert should this be? We've talked about Guar, that old group. I don't think they're even touring anymore. I don't know. I don't want to give you any ideas. You probably don't want to give me any ideas. Mm-mm. Tony, do you have any thoughts? Do you have any do you think there's, I mean, I like to say I have a wide range of musical tastes. Like, I could enjoy a lot of different bands, groups, singer. I really could. Do you have any idea of a concert that maybe, would be Pat or DB proof? Like, we would hate it. Both of us would hate it. Have you thought about that at all? Or do you have any thoughts? It's okay if you don't. I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, not that you necessarily guys would hate it, but it would just be funny to say, like, Pat goes to an Ace of Base concert, like something from like those early 90s, maybe mid 90s, something like that. If they're still touring, like, I'm the same way, DB. My musical taste is just all over the place. Like, you could put anything on: rap, country, oldies, new, somewhat current. And I'd be fine with it. But I feel like some of those ones, like those late 90s pop bands, stuff like that, that's kind of like, oh, ironic, but you might know like 1 or 2 of their songs and like actually know some of the words to the songs and whatnot too, where it's like, okay, kind of see you tapping your foot as the song's going.
I led Alpha Pat into this last week in the Wednesday night live Discord chat. And it gave me what I needed it to give me. We got towards the end of the chat on Wednesday nights. It's known to get a little weird. Sometimes that turns into just everyone naming random baseball players or football players, whatever. Last week, it evolved into random scream bands and bands that can scream and sing. And I'm a big fan. Bands like Under Oath, Breaking Benjamin. There's a new one called Sleep Theory that I'm kind of in on.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
What, you don't believe what part?
The Sleep Theory part, because you just started searching these after
I literally love Sleep Theory.
You couldn't even come up with one of these in the chat, and you had to like wait until you could find a scream band, and then you put it in the chat.
No, I was trying to find an old one. That's what I was struggling with. Sleep Theory's new. Okay. Stuck in My Head. Great song by Sleep Theory. We found out Pat effing hates it. Like, he got so triggered in the Wednesday night live chat. I mean,
can't stand that.
Borderline cussed me out, Irish goodbye, everything. We started playing the song live. I played a Breaking Benjamin song where it kind of gets into a scream thing. Pat was losing his mind. It literally was perfect. I now know that if I win Pat is 100% gonna have to sit through a concert where they, like where they like let it go and they scream, and he's just gonna absolutely want to punch himself in the dick the whole night. That is where we're going. I can tell you that right now, and it was perfect. I didn't know that about him until Wednesday night.
I've got an idea for you, but I won't reveal it yet. But
Josh P is in the chat. He's going to Slipknot on Thursday night. Oh, you would love Slipknot, Pat.
No. I mean, in general, I will say I am actually more similar to what you're saying, Tony, than you would think. I listened to all kind of music growing up, being in the 90s in high school and college, whether it was hip hop to James Taylor. I mean, everything around, that you could imagine I listened to. But I always hated the scream music. Like now I love a band like Alice in Chains, but they aren't like scream music. That's like good sounding music. So I like some alternative stuff. Yeah. But the scream stuff just drove me crazy. And the whole mosh pit and jumping up and acting like idiots, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it.
A mosh pit's fun. A mosh pit is pretty fun. I've only been one or two back in my day, my younger day, the youths.
Why is it fun just jumping around and hitting everybody?
Pat, I kind of think you would. I think you would you would metamorphosis in a mosh pit. You would go from caterpillar to butterfly. You have a little bit of like rage in you, that comes out from time to time. We've all seen it. It's been public. It's been in the Discord. It's definitely happened privately between you and I. I think a mosh pit could actually be therapeutic for you to some extent.
I mean, if I'm going to go to one of those concerts and that gets started, I mean, I feel like if we're going to get good coverage and good video, like I got to go in there and do it. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this about me. I mean, with my bet, when I have paid off many a bets and I will go all in on it. And this, I've done that for sure. So
I'm not going to be, if you I'm trying to think about what I would do if you spent a full like 60 seconds fully committed in a real mosh pit and it was videoed and I could see it with my eyes before I die. I would do something for that. I have to think about what that is. I would do something for that. That's an offering to you for doing such thing. I would repay that with some sort of thing that I would do.
Well, I mean, now, the whole bet is, it's
I'm pushing myself now because now I'm going to lose. We talked about all this for nothing.
Well, it's probably going to come. I mean, it's going to come down to right now. We're just assuming that I'm going to lose, which is fine. It's okay. I got a lot of ground to catch up, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's really not a lot. I don't think with these shortened fields, no cut, anything could happen. The purses are jacked up. I think it's wide open. So anyway, drop a comment, give us a suggestion, let us know. Hopefully it's somebody who's actually touring. I see like Casey suggested the Island Boys. The Island Boys would be hilarious. Are they actually touring? There's no chance.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Pat, if you Google mosh pit, there's mosh pit, the beginner's guide that we could take a look at, get some tips.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wyatt's Metal on YouTube. Get some tips about what we need to do in the mosh pit.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
There you go. Head down, throw your elbows a little bit, maybe wear a mouth guard just in case you want to protect those pearly whites or something. Like a low profile one, not one that everyone knew you'd have one in.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to lose a tooth. Let's talk about TPC Southwind, shall we? Let's look at our friends at Bet the Number. Last 3 years, FedEx St. Jude Championship at TPC Southwind. Now, we played here a bunch of times, but I'm just looking at the last 3 years. Lucas Glover wins back-to-back weeks last year. I hit him at 90-1. This is one of the few that I hit, and it was amazing. You can see about average fairways in regulation. This is one of the tougher run-of-the-mill PGA Tour golf courses. Every year, there's a lot of water in play. The fairways are kind of narrow. The Bermuda rough is pretty penal, a lot like we saw at Sedgefield this past week. It's a par 70, around 7,200 yards. The winner of the last couple years, Lucas Glover and Will Zalatoris, won at 15 under. It can play tough. There are big numbers to be had out here. Bermuda, firm, fast Bermuda greens. You can see here the green and regulation rates a little bit below tour average, meaning around the green play may matter a little bit more. I wanted to show this screen here. This is definitely not going to give a huge advantage to the bombers here. The strokes gained bomb opportunity proprietary stat on Bet the Number does not give a huge advantage. Not really rated a bomber's paradise course. And you can see over here in the approach buckets, a lot of serious rough penalty if you're not in the fairway. So being in the fairway, step number one, a lot like Sedgefield, is crucial here at TPC Southwind. And then you can see the yardage approach buckets reflected here on the over the last 3 years. DB's Southwind model has been made public now, and it is up and available on Bet the Number. If you want to take a look at that, of course, our friends at Bet the Number also have their model published as well. If you want to take a look at that, good golf course. I like it. It's not a birdie fest necessarily, so that's fun. You know, you've had guys win here. This was a WGC event before. You've had guys like Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Justin Thomas win here, but you also had Lucas Glover, Willie Z, Team No Putt. They won here. Daniel Berger, I believe, won here twice. Guys comfy on Bermuda, guys who are accurate ball strikers, definitely in play here. Need to be in some form. Obviously, like I said, 72 holes, no cut. The cream will tend to rise, although Lucas Glover defied all odds last year and just got hot and ran well. So we're going to talk about our outright favorites, our top 10 locks and bombs, and a few DFS thoughts, maybe mainly some chalk guesses and some pivot plays that we like. And then we'll get out of here. Pat, let's start with our season-long fade. You have the floor, I believe, sir. It is your first pick this week, which is a pretty valuable first pick.
Yeah, I feel like it's the first time I've gotten a pick in a while because you changed the rules a lot. And
no, you had it at the 3M. You had the first pick at the 3M, which was just 2 tournaments ago for us.
All right, well, I'm going to go again with a guy on the verge here of the range, looking at DraftKings odds. And I feel like there's a little bit of risk to this, but I am trusting the model a little bit. And he's got pretty decent history here. Not great, but decent. I'm going to go with Hideki.
Okay. All right. Hideki was one of the ones. I had 2 written down. Hideki was.
I know the other one that you're probably going to go with.
Who?
I'm thinking Cantlay.
No.
Okay.
It's actually Tony Finau. I'm going
okay.
to fade Finau, who's actually, I believe he's won here on this golf course. If I remember correctly. Let me
No, he couldn't have won because
check that.
I don't think he won.
Let me hold on. Tony Finau. Oh no, he won the FedEx St. Jude when it was at Liberty National. My bad.
Yes. Okay.
I knew he won the FedEx St. Jude. All right. All right. So I'm fading Finau 30-1. You're fading Hideki 30-1. That was 1 and 2 on my list. I get it. And listen, like I said, in this field, next week's field, it is going to be tough to, we're going to be fading studs up here in this range. For me, in DB's model, Finau is 44th in the model, primarily hurt off the driving accuracy, the key approach buckets. He's not amazing. He's okay, but he's not great. He's not good when you look at long-term comp course Bermuda putting. He's on record. Last couple of years, I've got a lot of player quotes in the Discord, the Tour Junkies Discord. I was reading one earlier today about Finau a couple of years ago saying, how uncomfortable he is on some of this greeny Bermuda stuff. It's not his favorite. And his record kind of speaks to it. He did have a T5 2 years ago when Willie Z won. But I'm going to go ahead and take the risk on Finau. You are taking Hideki. Explain yourself with Decky Bot there.
Well, I think there's a couple things with Hideki, and he's been sort of, kind of up and down all season. Obviously won with just a great performance on Sunday. Where was that? The Genesis, is that right? But there's a few things that I don't like. His putting has not been great. You look at the last event at the Open, it was horrible. He did gain at the U.S. Open. The other thing about Hideki is, I think his driving accuracy is okay. I mean, he's 38th in the field according to the model that I came up with. But which isn't, fantastic. I think the other thing that I would look at is this approach bucket that the BTN model has between 125 to 200 yards. He is 68th in that model, so not very good at all. You look at his history here, it's not bad. He did have a second in 2021, T16 last year, but then a T20 in 2020 and T43 in 2019. It's just when I look at all the guys up here that I could have chosen, he to me is the one that stands out as I think, I kind of gotta be bold a little bit here. I think I don't think he has as much upside as even a guy like Cantlay, who I don't like a ton this week, even a guy like Hovland. I just think Hideki is, he's just kind of blah to me. And I gotta have some sort of strategy.
I mean, he's got upside. You can't say Hideki doesn't have upside.
Well, no, he has upside, I guess. It's just I feel like he could be the one that would, finish 55th.
Well, for me, like I wrote Hideki down second after Finau. And for me, it was like looking at the rest of these guys, at least you always get a little bit of baked in withdrawal risk with Hideki. You know what I mean? You always get just a little bit of withdrawal risk. Now, he's 8th in the FedEx Cup standings. So he can withdraw, and he's still going to be playing next week in Colorado. He's still going to be playing at East Lake. Like, there's no way he falls out of the top 30. So you do get that with Hideki. And I think, when it's a razor thin margin here with all these studs at the top to fade, I get it. We shall see. Keep track of that. I will have both those players starred on my app to make sure Hideki outperforms Tony Finau. Let's talk about the top of the board and who we like. Before we do, I want to talk about our friends at Swannies because they just made a new drop, and this new drop is freaking fire. The Stadium Collection by Swannies is unreal. I'm showing you on YouTube some of the new hats, some of the new polos, real fresh gear coming out of swannies.co. They're already starting to give you some little fall stuff, like that little stripe right there is very classic. Love it. I love my Sunday Scary shirt. No outside coolers allowed. I love that t-shirt. That is very apropos for my club being jerks. You got a Sunday Scaries hat now, which I love. The Stadium Collection by Swannies is fantastic. Highly encourage everyone to check it out. Swannies.co, link in the description, code TJ25. Gets you 25% off your entire order. And they also have women's and juniors. Shipping anywhere in U.S. and Canada. If you want some golf apparel, if you want some golf merch, hats, t-shirts, pullovers, quarter zips, polos, joggers, shorts, any of that, Swannies has you covered. Great company, family run and operated in over 1,000 retail locations across the U.S. Great folks. Check it out. Swannies.co. Link in the description. Support the pod. TJ25 code is what you do. All right, Pat. So in the top range, who do you like? You betting anybody? I got 2 names and that's it. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not betting the favorite. I'm going back to my Lucas Glover ways from last year. Who do you like?
Yeah, for me, look, Scheffler's probably winning this golf tournament, so we could just be blowing hot air.
Should I go back to like DB Scheffler parlay version where I just bet Scheffler and just parlay him? Should I do that?
Yeah, you might have to.
It worked for Memorial.
Hey, do it with Scheffler in a preseason NFL game. That would really that equals out just some degeneracy.
I don't want to do that. I don't think that's enough. That wouldn't be enough to juice me over 20-1 anyway. I got to juice it up to 20-1.
Yeah, you're probably right. 2 guys I like, Ludwig and Tom Kim. Those are my 2 up here.
Okay.
Ludwig, for a lot of obvious reasons, he's just such a stud. Has not played here on this golf course, but I still like the number we're getting. I think I've seen him, he's 20-1 on DK, but I've seen him as long as 22-1. I really like that number. There's a gap, between Rory and Ludwig. That's pretty, well, I guess no Collins in there too, but still, I just think up here at this price range, Ludwig is the one that I really like. And then Tom Kim is another one that's been playing really well, has some good finishes on this golf course, typically very accurate off the tee. He's also good on that approach bucket from 125 to 200. He's top 20 in the field there, 15th at strokes gained off the tee. So Tom Kim's the other one at 30-1.
If you had to take one of the top 4, who would you take?
Of the top 4, I would take I feel really here's the thing about this question. You have to answer it Scotty Scheffler because he's the best one of this top 4. But if I really wanted to feel like have a great bet that I do think could win, it's Colin Morikawa at 12-1. That's who I would take.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think he's better than Scheffler? Do I think he's better than Xander? No, I actually think, Rory, he might be when it comes to like down the stretch on Sunday.
I mean, I am asking based on the odds. So I'm not asking like just out of the 4. So you're saying Morikawa. I think for me, it's between Kawa and Xander. For some reason, like a part of me thinks Rory could just be kind of, I don't know. Like, do you think Rory really likes TPC Southwind? Like, this is a terrible course for him. And I know he's had some good finishes. It's not ideal. Do you think he's just like dying to get to Colorado next week? And we got a new course next week to talk about. I don't even know if it suits Rory any better, but I don't love it for Rory. So for me, it's either Xander, who doesn't have a good record here, but I don't care. Xander's playing at a different level right now. So for me, it's either Xander or Morikawa. It does suit Morikawa nicely, but Morikawa has been a Giga Chad or whatever, a beta boy or however you say it. He's been
the alpha people.
He's not really closed the door.
That's the alpha people.
Okay. He's had a hard time closing the door. All right. My 2 here are 25-1 on FanDuel. Tommy Ladd. I mean,
oh gosh.
If Aaron Rye finally got across the board. Lucas Glover won here at 90-1 last year. Damn it if Tommy Fleetwood can't finally win. He was so close at the Olympics, If he just can't finally get it done in a playoff event, I don't know. 25 is probably a terrible number. That's like, realistically, will I actually bet that? I don't know. Maybe I won't. I'm just talking about the 2 I like the most as of Monday. So I could likely easily be talked out of that. But when I'm up here, like, I'm just like, Tommy at 25, it just feels like it's about to happen. It just does. And I know it's felt like that a long time, but it does. But my favorite bet here is actually at 35-1 in the next range, and it's 30-1 on DraftKings. That's why I'm here, is Russell Henley. Henley is a box-checking son of a gun for this golf course. T6 here last year, T5 at the Open. He caught the good wave, T7 at the U.S. Open, playing well, checking a lot of boxes here. I mean, top 15 in 7 out of 9 total stats in my model. And one of the 9 he doesn't qualify for because he doesn't have enough minimum rounds. So of the 8 that he qualifies for, 7 of them he's top 15 in my model. So my model is going to be either really, really right on Russell Henley or way off on Russell Henley. But 35-1, I love it. He's going to hit fairways. He's good on Bermuda. The iron play is tremendous. It's been very solid all year. He has upside. I actually think he could win.
Yeah. I mean, I like Henley. I'm with you. I think you're right. He is playing well, checks a lot of boxes. Just feels like a great course fit for him. So I'm with you on that one too.
I trust him to stay out of the agua. You get a lot of agua balls here, and I trust him to keep his balls dry. And that's important. Dry balls are good. Sometimes. Wonderful. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for the golf.
No Hawk Tua you don't want Hawk Tua at TPC Southwind.
That should be a stat. We should have that on Bet the Number. We'll be the first one to have the no Hawk Tua stat.
You and I were in Nashville the week that Hawk Tua girl blew up. We were in Nashville visiting our SoBet friends and on the Live Nashville train, and she blew up that week. She was interviewed on Broad Street in Nashville, I guess the week before. And boy, has she's done a great job of riding her 15-minute lightning wave of fame. Has she not? I see her everywhere. She's on every podcast. She's on every show. She's with Shaq. She's with damn Zach Bryan. She's freaking. I mean, at one point, I'm like, I feel like I'm going to see her in a, like a meeting with like Jay and Yasser or something, helping decide live and PGA.
Yeah,
she's everywhere. She's literally everywhere.
I don't think she's that good looking.
Okay, I wasn't talking about how she looks, but we know that you don't want to draft guys who have hawk Tua tendencies on this golf course. That's what we know.
Yeah,
but also we know that hawk Tua girl has really done well for herself in the last 30 days, 60 days. No, 45.
It's like 45 days.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that's the top end. Let's move to kind of mid range where your bread is going to be buttered, huh? Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about him. Could we have a repeat of last year?
Yeah, we could.
I think we could. Aaron Rye is effing dialed.
He is, and 40-1 is a good number for a guy.
He can't worth the shit. He's 45 on FanDuel.
Yeah, even better.
I cannot believe I texted you. Dude, I was the king of Mush yesterday. Now I just remembered on 18 when he hit that.
I thought we were supposed to pull for each other. What is
I was trying, dude. I was trying to be positive. On 18 when he hit that ball to like 7 feet.
Yeah, when you said that, that's when I was like, the mush is on. You texted me he's definitely missing that putt.
I said, not a chance Rye makes that putt. I said, not a chance Rye makes that putt. Max will still have a chance. Next text from Pat. Damn it. I said, unreal. Like, I can't believe he made that. I didn't think he was going to hit the hole. He is so bad putting. But again, your last two winners here, Will Zalatoris, Lucas Glover. I put it out on X yesterday. Who would you trust to make a 6 foot, half a cup slider to save your life? Aaron Rye, Michael J. Fox, or Joe Biden. I mean, it's a close call. It really is. So,
yeah.
But 45-1 to repeat as dialed. He's one of the most accurate drivers in this entire field. And as much as I made fun of CBS yesterday for just acting like he was having one of the best approach seasons, and he is having a great approach season, but they were talking like he was giving like Scotty a run for his money. I don't know. I don't. Did you catch all that? It was crazy. Anyway,
I did catch. They kind of overinflated that a little bit, but he is having a good season. But it's not even close to like Scotty. It's not even in the same ballpark.
So he's gonna hit fairways. The irons are dialed. Like, I mean, Rye is to me very live at 45.
I think he absolutely is. I'm with you. I think another guy was right there with Rye. Now, not on the leaderboard because he kind of fell back, but right there with him, cheering him along. Billy Horschel is another one that I think in this range is a good bet. I mean, he's at
Billy Horschel was the Leanne Tui of that round on Sunday.
I know what movie. That's the movie with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah,
Blindside. Yeah,
dude, Billy Ho was Leanne Tui and all over. We have Hawk Tua, but we have Leanne Tui, and Billy Ho was Tui and all over Aaron Rye on Sunday, and just cheerleading the hell out of him. And I think that stuff comes back around. It comes back around. Billy Ho's won a FedEx Cup before. He's not immune to the. I mean, he's a good player. This does suit him well.
I think he's confident right now, coming off 2 straight top 10 finishes. I mean, he followed up the great play at the Open Championship with the T6 last week at the Wyndham. Really could have been better. I mean, he was up there. He was on my betting card. He was up there near the lead at one point, I think. There was so much rain delays and everything. I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday or what it was, but still, I think Billy Horschel is one that I do like. And then a little bit shorter, Corey Connors. And this is I may need a Corey Connors intervention.
Yeah, let me give it to you because I've been doing it, man. It's like Kratom. You know, it's like you walk into one of them, and I've never done Kratom. I just hear it's really bad.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You know, it's like that synthetic shit that's in all the vape shops or whatever. It's like, you know, they make it out of like, you know, Bisquick, cocaine, and
cow doo-doo,
motor oil or whatever. I don't Corey Connors there's no way. And I will say this too. If I'm gonna bet a guy who can't win, I'd rather have Sung Jae at 45-1. He's 45-1 on FanDuel. He's 5 points longer than Corey. Corey's 40-1 on FanDuel. Everyone was like just tripping over themselves to bet Sung Jae at 16-1 last week, which I said was stupid. But this is a course where the cream will rise to the top a little bit better. Last week was kind of a birdie fest, a little more random. I'd way rather have Sung Jae at 5 points longer than Corey Connors. Both losers. Okay. Now Corey has won more recently than Sung Jae. Connors is tough, man. He's a tough watch.
Yeah. I get it. He's another one that's just a super, you know, he really fits the course.
He's got the President's Cup thing, but he's in. Like, he's going to be in the President's Cup, right? I don't even like.
I don't see any way he's not in the President's Cup.
It's not like he has to win. He's not. Let's look. Let's look at the international team standings here real quick. Let's just take a peek. Currently, he's number 7. He's in. Like, Nick Taylor, Hadwin, and Pendrith are there's the battle. Taylor is 11th. Hadwin is 12th. Pendrith is 13th. Mackenzie Hughes is 15th. Those 4 Canadians. And then Connors is 7th. He's way ahead of everybody else. So Connors is in. But if you're looking for a Canadian Civil War, that's it right there.
That'll be a good battle. I got one more in this range that I like. I'm going with Sepp Straka.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He has not been putting well. Last 4 events, losing strokes putting. Kind of brings back the whole Lucas Glover, Willie Z thing, though, here. You know, he's a great driver of the ball, very accurate off the tee. He's number 2 in this field in driving accuracy in the BTN model. 6th in approach. You know, he did go kind of on a good run all the way up until about the U.S. Open, and then has been just, you know, decent since then. Hasn't been great. Had a T22 at the Open Championship, and I don't believe he's played since then. So a little bit of a break for Sepp, but I do like him a lot at 60-1.
Lost here in the playoff to Willie Z. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Forgot that.
I'm with you on Sepp. Like, Sepp at 70-1 in a 70-man field, I will take it, dude. Like, the guy's a door closer when he's on. I'll say it for quite some time. I've said it for quite some time. I trust him when down the stretch he has a chance to win. Sepp has the demeanor. He's proven it. He's gotten it done. Big dick events, Ryder Cup, Olympics. I know he didn't medal, but like, he played well. Majors, he's played well. Like, he's not a choke guy.
Mm-mm.
I would add Davis Thompson because I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to do a show where I don't talk about Davis Thompson. Said it last week. I am buying all the Davis Thompson stock I can buy. I'm buying it. I am blowing the load on Davis Thompson stock. Clip it. Don't care. I'm telling you, this dude is a world-class player. He didn't make anything on round 4 yesterday. He could have been in the mix. He made nothing on the greens. And I watched him. His speed was great. He was just barely missing. He made nothing. 70-1 on FanDuel for DT. I'm also in on that.
Okay. I mean, I'm with you. We went into this last week too. I mean, Davis Thompson to me is one of the next, stud players on tour. It took him a little while to get going. I think that you're going to see him continue to get better, especially after that win. I feel the same way, to be honest, about a guy like, I don't like him this week, and I think he's still in over his head a little bit, but like Nick Dunlap. I think Nick Dunlap is going to be a big star on this tour. I do. I think he is. Anybody that can win as an amateur, just like Phil Mickelson did, it's going to happen. He's going to be a stud on this tour. And I think Davis is too. And it took Davis a little while. We would not be saying the same thing about Davis last year. And he played a full year last year, full season. So we're only kind of now starting to really lean into Davis being as good as we thought he would be. And it took him a while. And I think the same thing's going to happen with Dunlap.
Well, is that a transition to a long shot pick? If it is, hold on. Before we get to those, I want to thank our friends at Underdog. If you're not already participating in Underdog Pick'ems or Underdog Best Ball Drafts, what are you even doing? The Best Ball Draft season is alive and well for Underdog, especially if you're looking at the NFL stuff. Boy, it is popping off there on Underdog. Tons of contests you can get into for the NFL. Plus, the season-long NFL Pick'ems are a blast. Over-under yardage totals, receiving yards, rushing yards, all kind of stuff, touchdown over-unders for the season. It's my favorite thing to lose money on because I suck at NFL stuff. That's just me. May not be you. You may have good sources. I don't take any time to do any sources. I just fire. Okay, that's just what I do. But either way, it's a lot of fun. I'm a big lower guy. You know, you pick higher, lower on the Underdog Pick'ems. I'm a big lower guy for season-long NFL totals. Just because, you know, you don't know. Duke could get turf toe, which is something I still don't know what that is. And I've been following the NFL closely since 2006. Duke could he could have, you know, he could tear his ACL. He could
Plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis. He could.
I still don't know what that is.
He could have acute glaucoma. He could have. We don't want to think about awful things happening, but it could happen. So I like the lowers on a lot of those. So I'm a big lower guy on NFL season pick'ems on Underdog. If you are, you can join me or just fade all my plays. I'll put them in the Discord. Click the link in the description. Code Junkies should pre-fill. You get a semi-free square loaded up for you when you join as a new user. And you also get up to $250 in bonus cash to spend on either best ball drafts or pick them, whatever you want to do on Underdog. Check it out. And they are constantly growing and developing their product. Obviously, they do golf as well, and they invest in golf more than a lot of companies do. So we appreciate Underdog. Check them out. So, Pat, are you betting Nick Dunlap?
Oh, I said that when I first started talking about him. I'm still not. Okay. No, I'm not.
I like Akshay, and I haven't been on the Akshay bus a whole lot. I don't care about the Open. It's the Open. Wrong side of the draw, weather, conditions, doesn't matter. 3M, week after the Open, random tournament. I don't care about that either. The missing the cut at the Wyndham, a little disappointing. But Akshay's a grower, not a shower. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, this is a big dick event. I'm here. I don't need the Wyndham. You know? Akshay doesn't need the Wyndham. He don't need it. He's 15th in the FedEx Cup standings. Now it's time to turn up. But before the Open, runner-up at the Rocket Mortgage, 5th at the Travelers. He hits fairways. He's good out of Bermuda rough. Approach play solid. I like Akshay. You can get him at 90-1 right now on FanDuel. So I'm going Akshay at 90. Other than that, I don't know. Like I'll see what you say. Do you like anybody here?
Well, there's a couple here. I do like, I'm back in on Alex Noren. Blow the whistle. But he's coming.
I looked and then I looked away. It was like I
think Alex Noren, though, you look at him for this golf course, great ball striker, fairly accurate off the tee. I still believe in Alex Noren, 80-1. He might be longer.
Still believe in Alex Noren.
Where is Alex Noren on?
He's probably 90 on FanDuel or something.
Oh my God, he's 110-1 on FanDuel. Absolutely in on 110-1 FanDuel. The other one I think that's interesting It worries me a little bit about his, and this is kind of a long shot, but newly engaged to Dana.
Oh,
Ben Griffin coming off a
Dana
T6
made quite the move on Sunday, by the way.
Yeah, he made a great move on Sunday. Not particularly accurate off the tee in general, but he is 12th in the model that I have for this week. And I just think there's, he's another guy that's just comes around. He's getting better. Gives himself a few chances.
He's a DFS play for me, unless it's a birdie, like a random birdie fest. Like
this isn't a birdie fest.
I know. That's why I say he's not an outright for me for that reason. But DFS, he's live because the dude gets hot.
Yeah,
I don't trust him to hit he's gonna hit foul balls and get Hawk-Tua. He's gonna have wet balls. He is on Sunday. If Ben Dana Griffin, if we got to find out Dana's last name, can somebody tell us Dana's last name? Ben Griffin's
maybe
now fiance, her last name, because we talked about on the last show. He's probably going to take her last name, so we can start referring to him as Ben, whatever Dana's last name is.
I think we need to look at pre-engaged to Dana Ben Griffin off the tee and driving accuracy to last week.
Okay, was it good last week?
I don't know. I'm just wondering. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, he's 61st in the field in driving accuracy that I'm looking at, which isn't good.
No,
but maybe
he's terrible.
But maybe she grabbed him by the balls a little bit.
Oh, dear.
And that hurt him. I mean, painfully hurt him, but then also hurt him with some distance off the tee, and he turned into a little bit more of a weakling off the tee.
All right. So if I look on Bet the Number at the Wyndham, he did have a better week. He hit 68% of his fairways at the Wyndham, according to Bet the Number.
Yeah. See?
So maybe
her last name?
Yeah. What's her last name?
Dana Myeroff.
No yes, way. She straightened him out.
Ben Myeroff?
Yeah.
She has a profound interest in developing business strategic plans, or at least being a part of it.
Wait. Where's that? Where are you reading that?
This is essentially sports.com/golf. It's one of those ones where, it's just this random web 10 things to know about Ben Griffin. Just completely random. It could be made up. That could not even be her last name.
Myeroff? Is that what you said?
Myeroff.
Ben, so it's
she straightened him out.
Ben Myeroff. Okay. Yeah, I'm out.
He wants to be a part of the team. She saw the stats. That's exactly what she just said, or what Tony just said. She said, "You are not good off the tee. I need you to be better off the tee," and he got accurate the next week.
So Dana has straightened out Ben's D stick.
Yeah.
Way to go, Spaz.
Good one, Spaz.
Is there anybody else? Is there any other long shot outrights?
One more.
Okay.
Another guy kind of coming around lately that I hit last year when I bet him. And that DB is Taylor Moore. I'm liking Taylor Moore again. He started playing well. He was 5th here last year, had a T12 at the 3M coming off of 2 missed cuts. He was 56 last week, but if you look at just kind of the play, it's especially with the putter. He has been lights out with the putter the last few weeks, other than at the Wyndham. I think Taylor Moore is back in the good graces of Pat, and I think he can win this week.
Huh. I don't like Taylor Moore. We know you're not going to Gracerman. I mean, what about your boy Eric Cole? You're big on Eric Cole last week, right?
Yeah, I'm just
he still gained on approach again.
It's a 70-man field. The other guy I would say that you were on last week that I looked at was Harris English.
Yeah, well, he withdrew. I don't like that withdrawal. I don't know why. I can't remember why he withdrew, but I don't like that.
Yeah, well,
I think Cole is in play at 120 to 1. He's got 3 top 7 finishes in his last 5 events. Like he's starting to
What did
cook
he do last week?
T7 at the Wyndham.
Oh, really?
Gained 4.2 on approach, gained 2.5 putting. He's gained putting in his last 5 PGA Tour events.
All right. Well, I like Cole. Maybe I'll add him to the list.
Played once here. It was last year. Finished T31. Lost 2.2 strokes putting. The accuracy the last 24 rounds, I think, has improved. He's now right around 61% tour. That's just a little bit better than tour average. That's better than what we normally see out of Eric Cole. He's got that left miss usually. But the approach play for me is good enough. At 120, I'm interested. That'd be the last one for me. All right, let's talk top 10 locks and bombs. Top 10 locks and bombs. And last week, I will say, Pat, of our 6 picks, 3 of our 4 locks. Now, our 2 bombs did not hit. It was like Kisner and somebody else. Kisner disappointed me late on round 2 as well. But 3 of our 4 locks hit. Davis Thompson, Aaron Rye, Billy Horschel, all plus money, all top 20s. Those all hit. Let's talk this week. Top 10s. Give me your 2 locks.
2 locks for me are plus money, Morikawa at plus 125.
Yes.
And then I like Fleetwood at plus 200 for a top 20 also.
Don't hate that either.
I mean, sorry, top 10. Top 10.
All right. So Fleetwood was the one that I left out. What was he? Plus what?
200.
I had Kawa, so I will take that. And that's including ties, which I think is nice. Morikawa plus 125, including ties, is strong. Tommy Ladd 2-1. I will add to that Henley at plus 260. That's
Okay.
a long one, but I actually believe it's a lock. I think Henley is perfect for this spot. So Morikawa, Henley, and Tommy Ladd are our locks. There's some agreement there. Who's your bomb?
I'm going to go with my boy, Alex Noren, plus 600, top 10 bomb.
Oh, he's going to hurt your feelings. God. I'm going to ride the hot hand with DT. I'm going back to Davis Thompson. 4-1, including ties. Tempted to go Akshay, but I'm going to go DT, 4-1. Okay, let's talk DFS. Chalk and pivots. Where do we think the chalk going to be? Where are some possible pivots? Let me reorganize my Bet the Number screen here. By the way, if you've not already joined Bet the Number, you can click the link in the description. Code TJ gets you $5 off monthly or $50 off annual subscriptions. Check it out. Okay. Scotty Scheffler is 12-4, down to Russell Henley at 9K. I do think Henley is going to be chalk. I think Tommy Ladd's going to be chalk, and I think Morikawa is going to be chalk. The top 3, I don't know what people are going to do. Like between Scotty, Rory, Scheffler, I mean, obviously with a no-cut event, you're going to have aggressive style plays. These guys are obviously going to be played. I don't think any of those top 3 or 4 are going to be pivots, because you're not worried about missed cuts down below in the 6K situation. So really, it probably boils down to more so, who do we think the lowest owned players are going to be in this range? Who are the pivots here? I wrote down Hovland for sure. I mean, Hovland's just not been Hovland for quite some time now, even though he's got a good record here. I think Hovland will be the lowest owned player in this range. And then I have Hideki, which we talked about as your fade for various reasons. And then I have Ludwig. Just because he's up there in that top range. I think Kawa, Fleetwood, going to get some love. Lud not played Southwind yet. Sandwiched in between Rory and the gang up top and Kawa and Fleetwood. I think Lud could get squeezed a touch. If you want a stud pivot up top, I think it could be Ludwig. Disagree, agree? What do you think about the pivots?
No, I would agree. I think my first thought would have been, if I'm pivoting off of those big 3 up at the top, Ludwig would be the one that I would go to. I do think Morikawa is going to be chalky. Fleetwood. I think Russell Henley. I think Connors is going to have a little bit of chalk too. And then you got them kind of spread out a little bit between Scotty and Xander, but they're still going to be chalky. Rory is going to be the least out of those three, but I do think Ludwig is a great pivot. I think right there together, the Cantlay, Victor Hovland, Hideki trio from 9,700 to 9,300 are all going to be fairly low owned for this 9K and above.
Cantlay though, Cantlay. Like I can see Cantlay still getting plenty of love because he's 5th at the Travelers, 3rd at the U.S. Open, 25th at the Open.
Yeah, but I just feel like more people are going to go to Tommy
for sure.
Morikawa.
Yeah.
And I just think that's going to pull from off of Cantlay. But of those three, I think Cantlay's the highest owned between Victor, Hideki, and Cantlay. But I do think there's going to be a chance as a pivot play for him.
The only guy in this entire range that I absolutely would not play is Hovland. I don't care if Hovland's 5%. I'm out.
Yeah,
and it's crazy to say considering where we were last year. I mean, I know he finished 13th here last year, but then he won the BMW, and then he won Eastlake.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think Hovland's one that I would just have a hard time feeling like this is going to be a good one or a good, solid play for my lineups.
There are very little positives going on with Victor Hovland right now.
Yeah. I feel like he needs to be done with this season and reset, which is funny because he's coming off of winning the FedEx Cup last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Other than that, I mean, you could probably just play who you want to play up here. Now, people are going to, if Russell Henley, Russell Henley's a name where if he's chalk, people start to go, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. So I could see Henley maybe starting out as chalk, maybe steaming down a little bit, being a guy that people go, no, I don't want Russell Henley chalk. That feels different than Colin Morikawa chalk or literally anyone else in that range. So we'll see how I feel come Wednesday night. But and it depends on lineup construction too. So Henley, I think, is going to check a lot of boxes on this golf course. And then Tom Kim, as we go to the AK range, Kim is going to do the same thing. I mean, you talked about Tom Kim in the outright section as a guy who you were betting. I think there's a lot of potential chalk here. Kim and M being a couple, Rye being another.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Billy Ho. Do you think Burns gets a little chalk? Like people, I feel like people are still. It doesn't really matter what Burns has going for him, whether it's history and form, which he has here this week. People still are scared of Sam Burns.
It's weird, isn't it? Like I think he's a good pivot option if he's low owned. I like Sam Burns.
I do too.
It's like
especially the no cut event.
Yes, and it's just I don't know what it is because he's a great player. He's won on tour several times. I think part of it is he doesn't always show up super high in models that you may come up with, but he's just a gamer when it comes down to playing in a golf tournament and trying to win.
And he loves him some Bermuda.
Yeah.
Okay, pivots here. I think JT is interesting.
Yes, he is. Damn it.
Again, screw the Genesis in the Open. And he didn't, it's not like he played terrible. But T5 at Travelers, 8th at the PGA, 21st at Wells Fargo, 5th at Heritage. He was starting to kind of come around. Putter's been bad. Putter's been real bad. But at this place, he's really good here. And that's despite putting terribly here. And he has one here, yeah. I think he's an interesting pivot. I think Burns. I think Shane Lowry. If you talk about
the miscut,
coming off the miscut, I don't care. Still hitting it great with his irons, hitting fairways, T6 here in 2020. More and more familiar as the years go by with Bermuda as he's moved to Florida, relocated to Florida. I think Lowry is an interesting pivot to give me guaranteed 4 rounds at 8K. I'd rather have him than Cam Young.
See, I think if you started, I would feel I would like starting in a lineup with Justin Thomas and Sam Burns. That would be a great start to me in a no-cut event. You feel a little squeamish.
Yeah.
You kind of, but in
get
Cam
weird.
Young, I don't know what to say about Cam Young.
Dude, every time that guy sniffed the leaderboard, it literally
it's like he's allergic to it.
Okay, story time with DB. Tequila story time. When I was a senior and I graduated high school, me and 3 buddies and 4 of our closest girlfriends, none of us were dating. The 8 of us went to Myrtle Beach for a week. And that was our senior trip, right? We were first time breaking free from high school. We go to Myrtle Beach, spend a few nights. We literally, the guy stayed in the hotel room and the girl, 4 of us in each room. We went to eat at Dick's Last Resort. Familiar with that place?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When they talk crap to you basically the whole time.
Yeah. It's a restaurant where they treat you like shit. That's the point of the restaurant. They insult you. They throw stuff at you. They treat you terribly. We're at Dick's Last Resort. I'll never forget this. And one of my buddies, the waiter walks up to the table with a stack of Post-it notes. And he writes on the Post-it notes insults. And he hands them to everybody at the table. And he waits for one of my friends. And he just goes, "You don't get to see yours. You get to wear yours. And everybody else is going to see it." And he writes on the Post-it note, I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to get in trouble. But he writes on the Post-it note, kitty, bad word for kitty repellent with an arrow pointing down. And he sticks it on my buddy's forehead at the table. And we all crack up laughing. That was Cam Young yesterday at the Wyndham, except the kitty was the top of the leaderboard. Anytime he was like, "Oh, I'm in second," blah! Abort. He just was gone. He lost it. It was awful. He's terrible. When it comes down to the leaderboard, if he sees his name up there, he's done. He cannot do it.
Now,
anyway, he's kitty repellent.
He's like George leaving the table.
Who?
George in Seinfeld, when he says a joke and he leaves the table and he's like, "I'm out."
I don't.
One of the greatest scenes of all time in Seinfeld. It's fantastic.
I didn't watch it,
but he went out on top because he said a joke and then he was out. But anyway,
okay. All right, 7K. The chalk here is I don't think there's as much chalk here. I think it's Davis Thompson. Might be Akshay because people love Akshay. Other than that, the only other name I had written down here was actually Noren.
I think Noren will have a little bit. I think, could Sepp have any?
Sepp, I think, is up there. Yeah.
And what about Seabez? Everybody loves to play some Seabez.
No, I think people are like, "What? Why are we doing this?" I'm so glad Seabez is the one guy I've not lost a lot of money on.
I'm in the same boat. I just can't.
If you're looking for a golf tout show that will not hawk Tua on Seabez every week, welcome to the Tour Junkies podcast.
Welcome to the show.
Now, we will do it on a lot of other losers, but not that one.
Like Luke List.
No, I haven't talked about Luke List in years. Who we like here? I will say this, because the record here is so good. Now, I'm not going to do a lot of it. This is a bump. Okay, this is not a line. This is just give me a little just a little bump of Matt Fitzpatrick. If he's very low owned. He withdrew from, what was it he withdrew? He withdrew with a thumb injury from the Olympics or something, right? He hasn't been playing great, but 3 top 6 finishes here in the last 5 years. Clearly, there's something about this place that suits him. If he is very low, he's 40th in the FedEx Cup, so likely playing next week, but needs to make a move to go to Eastlake. I don't love it, but I'm going to watch it and might take a little bump as a pivot. Yeah. What other pivots in here?
I think I actually don't mind the Fitzy play. I like Adam Scott.
I do too.
I think Adam Scott is, this is another course that's really good for him. He's coming in pretty good form. So I think he's a pivot for sure. A guy that's just had a solid season. Like when I was looking at the standings, I was surprised at how, just solid he's been all year for the standings, but that's Jason Day. I think Jason Day. I do.
What is it with you and Jason Day?
I'm just a big fan. I think he's still got some left in the tank.
Are you gay for Day?
No. It
took you a long time to say no there. You kind of stuttered there.
No, I just think I like Day. I think he's a good play this week.
It's okay if you are. It really is. It's okay. I'm not. There's no.
I just was shocked you were using such a language.
I mean, gay is a word in society for if you like the same sex, and I'm asking and it rhymes with day. So if I'm just asking, I'm not criticizing. I'm just asking, and if you are, it's okay.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Would you have sexual relations with Jason Day if he offered it to you?
No, I would not.
Okay.
No.
Do your parents know you're gay?
Let's get on to something.
You remember that?
What was that from?
Those were like back in elementary school in the 90s when your friend would ask you, do your parents know you're gay? And if you were like, no, you're doomed one way or the other. You know what I mean? Back in the 90s, you were.
So there were some good ones. That reminds me, the other day, family and I were on a walk, and Amanda says something to me. I go, "Oh, Sphincter says what?"
Oh, yes, Wayne's World, right? Is that Wayne's World?
Yeah, that was Wayne's World.
Sphincter says what?
Yeah.
Swing. Oh, excuse me, baking powder. Excuse me, baking powder. And that was also Wayne's World.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Oh, pivots.
People. Oh, pivots.
Okay. I think another pivot for me that's just, again, boomer bust. I don't have to sweat out the cut, but he's got legit upside is Byung Hanan.
Yeah.
I'm in on Ben on here.
Are you a little worried about the driving accuracy though?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's literally almost DFL in the ranks. Yeah. Yes. But T12 here in 2020. And then last year, he gained 4.4 strokes off the tee. 4.4 strokes last year. Now, he finished 37th, but he gained 4.4 strokes off the tee. So, I think he figured it out. And then he lost 5.5 on approach, which is very unlike Ben On. So, I think Ben On as an upside pivot that's not going to get a ton of love is in play. I also just can't believe how, if you'd have told me in January how few amount of times I would say Max Homa's name in a positive light this year, I would have really had a hard time believing you. But it's very humbling, disappointing as a guy who's been a Max Homa guy all for a long time. It's been a rough 2024 for Max.
Yeah, it has. I think I did mention him at the Scottish Open, maybe.
But he has had good finishes, though. Don't look. Have you looked? Don't look. Have you looked? How many top 20s do you think Max has had in 2024?
2.
He's had 6.
Well, I know he had the Masters, which was the first one I was thinking of. And I guess he had a lot on that Florida or the California swing, maybe.
Okay, well, I did forget. One of them was the Century, which was a 30-something guy or 50-something guy. I feel he had a T14 at the Century, T13 at the Farmers, 16th at the Genesis, so 3 on the West Coast swing. 8th at API, 3rd at Masters, 8th at Quail Hollow. I mean, he's got 3 top 10s in 2024. I don't know. Any other pivots? 7K range.
No, I think that's it for me.
All right, let's do a 6K draft and get out of here before I say something to truly get us canceled. 6K draft. Here we go. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Max, me to start?
Max Grayserman.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I had him last week, I think, didn't I?
No.
What was that?
No.
No, I had Charlie Hoffman. You poo-pooed, and Charlie ended up playing okay.
Oh, yeah. By the way, in our 6K draft, we had 4 missed cuts, and then we each had a T12.
Yeah.
You had Charlie Hoffman, and I had Chan Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, not a very good 6K draft.
No.
But.
All right. Well, since you took Max, then I'm going to take a guy I don't think you like. And we'll just do it that way. Taylor Moore, 6,400.
I don't like that. I'm gonna go Eric Cole.
Okay. I'll go Ben Griffin.
You mean Ben Meyerhoff?
Ben Meyerhoff. Griffin Meyerhoff.
Ben Griffin Meyerhoff.
Yes.
Yeah. He'll have his maiden name in the middle. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go Cam Davis. I see some upside out of Cam D.
Okay.
Give me 4 rounds of Cam D. I'll take it.
I'll go with a guy that's coming off of, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 straight cuts made. Seamus Power.
Yeah. I just didn't want to say it because I say it every week. But
Yeah.
yes, I'm there. So the 6K draft is Grayserman, Davis, Eric Cole, Ben Griffin, Taylor Moore, and Seamus Power. Love it. Thank you guys for checking out the show. We'll be back next week for the BMW Wednesday night live chat happening in the Discord. Emails going out this week. All the goodies as usual. Then we're going to take a break. We ain't doing shit for the Tour Championship. And then we have a break. And then we have the beginning of the year, which is some new name that I don't know, like Pro Core, Gigapad, or Alpha Pad, or whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
What else, Pat? Anything else you want to say?
No, that's it.
You want to say anything about Jason Day?
I do not. No. I think we talked about Jason
text
Day.
me later. It's okay. It's a safe place. If you want to text me later.
Well,
I will not share it with
I'm
you.
not blowing Tommy Ladd Fleetwood. You don't,
Yeah, see?
sir.
What about you? You and Tommy Fleetwood.
That was clearly in the figurative.
I don't know.
Okay.
We have a clip of it.
That is you, sir. That was you. And on that note, bend over your bookies, not Jason Day.
See, you came up with that saying.
Again, figurative.
Yeah, you came up with that saying.
I'm a poet, Pat. I have a way. I'm a wordsmith.
Okay. Well,
I've been hosting a podcast for 9 years. Okay. Bend over your bookies, unless it's Jason Day, because he belongs to Pat, and may your screens be green. See ya. Out.